Hello everyone, welcome to Botany Please. In today's video, we're gonna understand the entire chapter of plant kingdom in a way that we can remember, we can connect each and every particular different kind of kingdoms. What we're gonna do is we're gonna study each and every character, how they have evolved in a particular condition. So let us start the particular discussion. So if you are talking about algae, if you look at algae, what you find is mostly plants out here are haploid in nature. Okay, so their haploid life cycle is larger, and if you see the diploid life cycle here will be smaller in nature. When you reach to bryophyta, what happened? The haploid life cycle is still the most important one. Okay, but what we are seeing here is the diploid life cycle slowly start increasing, and this life cycle start decreasing. But overall, if we say you have to remember that it is still the maximum amount, and it is still smaller as compared to that. When you reach to pteridophyta, what do we see is here the haploid life cycle is somewhat equal to your diploid life cycle. Okay, they have been reached to a particular category where both of them are equal in nature. When you reach to gymnosperm, now what we see is the diploid life cycle became the dominant one, and followed by the haploid, which becomes the least amount. They are decreasing nowadays. And angiosperm, we see diploid life cycle reach to the extreme position, and the haploid life cycle has been decreased to a smaller level. So that's what we see here, that in case of haploid life cycle, what we see here is the plant were known as gametophyte. The main plant body out here also was gametophyte. But as you reach here, in case of pteridophyta, what do we see is the main plant body is shifted to sporophyte in nature. Same goes for gymnosperm. Now the main plant body is diploid, and they are known as sporophyte. Sporophyte in nature. Now what do we see here is, in case of this one, what we see is both your gametophyte and sporophyte are independent. Okay, they are independent in nature. But when we see at bryophyta, what do we find here is that the sporophyte out here is dependent on gametophyte. So they are found to be dependent on gametophyte. In case here we have two examples. One is liverwort, where we see full dependence, and in case of your particular mosses, we see they are partially dependent. And if you want to know why they are fully and partially dependent, you can watch our entire full lecture which is there on bryophyta. Now talking about pteridophyta, we have two different types. In homosporous type, what do we see? Both are independent of each other. And if you look at your particular heterosporous one, the heterosporous, what do you see? The gametophyte is dependent on sporophyte. Now if you are looking at your particular gymnosperm, what do we find here is that your gametophyte is dependent on sporophyte. At the same time, same goes for here. Here what we see, the gametophyte is basically dependent on sporophyte. So what do we see here is, when you talk about algae, you see they were mostly gametophytic in nature. So this gametophytic feature, slowly as it goes towards the particular angiosperm side, it changes to your sporophytic one. So what do we say is, gametophyte decreases as per time and sporophyte is increasing as we move towards the angiosperm section.